Chapter 11, Mishnah 5. The Mishnah discusses the laws of a Kohen and his slave who were mixed up as children. If the child of a Kohen's wife became mixed up with the child of her slave woman, so that it is not known which boy is the Kohen and which is the slave, the law is that each one must be treated as a possible Kohen as well as a possible slave. Therefore, the following laws apply to them. They may both eat terumah, since both the Kohen and the slave of a Kohen are entitled to eat terumah. But they receive one portion of terumah at the threshing floor, where terumah is given out. That is, they receive terumah only when they come together, since we do not give terumah directly to a Kohen's slave in a public setting unless his master comes along with him. They may both not become tameh through contact with the dead, since one of them is a Kohen who is forbidden to become tameh through a dead person. And they both may not get married to any woman, either to women who are fit, i.e. married, to marry a regular Jew, who are forbidden to marry a slave, or to women who are unfit to marry a regular Jew, who are forbidden to marry a Kohen. The Mishnah continues with the same case and explains how their laws are affected when the slave is freed. If the mixed up children grew to adulthood and freed each other, so that now the slave, whichever one he is, has the status of a Yisrael, the law is that each one must be treated as a possible Kohen as well as a possible Yisrael. Therefore, the following laws now apply to them. They both may marry women, but only those who are fit for the kahuna, i.e. that a Kohen could marry, because each one is possibly a Kohen. And they still may not become tameh through contact with the dead, for the same reason. However, if they did become tameh, even deliberately, they do not receive the penalty of 40 lashes, since each one of them can claim that he is not a Kohen, and we cannot punish a person for a questionable violation. Before they freed each other, they were both allowed to eat terumah, since even the slave of a Kohen may eat terumah. Once they freed each other, this is no longer the case. The Mishnah now details their new status regarding terumah. They may not eat terumah because one of them is now a freed slave who is forbidden to eat terumah. But if they did eat terumah, they do not have to pay the principal, i.e. the value of the eaten terumah, plus an additional fifth to a Kohen, since each one could claim that he is the Kohen and not required to pay. They do not receive a portion of terumah at the threshing floor, since they are forbidden to eat it, as the Mishnah taught above. But they may sell to a Kohen the terumah that they separate from their own produce, and the money from the sale belongs to them. They do not have to give the money to a Kohen. Certain parts of the sacrificial offerings are given to the Kohanim. The Mishnah gives the law for these parts in regard to the mixed-up children, once they freed each other. They do not receive a portion in the sacrifices of the temple, such as the hides of the offerings that are given out to the Kohanim who serve in the temple, since neither of them can prove he is a Kohen and entitled to them. We do not give them sacrifices to offer in the temple, because one of them is a non-Kohen who is forbidden to perform the sacrificial service. But we do not remove their own sacrifices, namely Bechor offerings, from their possession to give them to a Kohen, since each one of them claim that he is a Kohen. They are also exempt from the obligation to give the foreleg, the jaws, and the stomach of kosher animals to a Kohen, since each one could claim that he is a Kohen. And the Bechor, animal of each, should be left to graze until it develops a blemish that disqualifies it from being brought as an offering, and then it may be slaughtered and eaten by the owner. To sum up the laws of the Mishnah, we place upon each of these mixed-up sons both the stringencies of Kohanim and the stringencies of Yisraelim.